Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel. Aimee here. Today we're gonna actually talk about my favorite male romance narrators. I've actually been wanting to do this video because there are a good many, not that many, but a good maybe 2 handfuls of really great male romance narrators that I've listened to just over the years. But before we get started with that, I just wanted to, how cute is this? Happy Pride, y'all. Happy Pride. I love it. I saw it on Amazon as I was kind of scrolling through Pride shirts because I wanted to kind of, like refresh my Pride shirt wardrobe, I guess. And I spotted this like first thing and I was like, that is 100% me. 100%. So yeah, I'll link it down below if y'all want to check it out for yourselves, but happy Pride. And then of course I wanted to give y'all an update on my nails. In my last video I was painting my nails and that was actually a week ago from today. So last Sunday I filmed that video and painted my nails. Today is the following Sunday and they are still looking fantastic. My camera doesn't want to focus on my nails. Still looking fantastic. They have a little wear and tear, but they are not chipped. They just like, it almost looks like they are fading like at the tip. But like I said, I was putting that damage control on them every single day. Today I'm actually going to take them off later, so I didn't want to put any more polish on them. So yeah, they both nails have really, both hands have really done well over the week. And I'm pretty rough on my hands, I guess. I don't, like do hard labor on my hands, just like washing dishes. I'm always cleaning, washing things. And then yesterday we actually got in our pool for the first time for summer. So, chlorine, shock, all the things that are in a pool, and they did not budge. So really happy with the process that, I have come to, learn to keep my polish on my nails. I also wanted to mention, and I'll probably be putting in a clip somewhere in here showing y'all me taking them off and using this cuticle oil. This is the Sally Hansen Vitamin E Nail and Cuticle Oil. I feel like this has also played a very important part in keeping my nails nice and just hydrated, and also helping keep the polish on. I don't know, maybe I'm just, thinking that in my head, but I've grown accustomed to like really loving it. Like I use this like all throughout the day. After I wash my hands, I usually put this on and then I re-cream my hands or re-lotion. And the 2 hand creams that I've been rotating between, just because I haven't really found a hand cream that I would want to use like all the time. But I had these on hand, so I've just been using them, and it dawned on me that I never really creamed or lotioned my hands. The only time I would really do it would be like if I'm lotioning for the day. I like to wear lotion like on my legs, on my body, just to keep it hydrated, I guess. The older we get, the drier we get. So yeah, I haven't really been concentrating on my hands. So I started doing that, and I had this Aveda Hand Relief Hand Lotion Moisturizing Cream. I have it also in like a little travel size that's in my purse, so I've been using that as well. This smells, it smells wonderful. If you've ever been to an Aveda, it smells like Aveda. It's wonderful. The only thing about this, I'm gonna take my rings off so I can put a little bit on. Only thing about it is it sort of leaves like a slick finish behind, and my hands it feels a little bit more greasier than this other hand cream I'm about to show you. It does eventually, like get into your hands but I find that it feels a little bit too greasy, but I still like it. But this Hands of Hope from, who is this from? Philosophy. My mother-in-law actually gave me this for Christmas, and I found it in a drawer the other day, and I was like, why haven't I been using this? So it's, you know, it had a little seal on it, so I just cracked open the seal. But this one feels really good. It doesn't have much of a scent, which is okay. Sometimes scents for me can be a little bit overpowering, and you know, I don't care for that. But this one sinks into your skin really, really good and doesn't leave that sort of slick, oily feeling behind. Even though I'm loving the Aveda one, I love it and I'm going to continue to use it. My camera wants. I have my camera on auto. I'm just trying different settings because every now and then I find that it unfocuses on me and focuses on the background. So I put it on auto. The last couple times I've been filming random. I don't. So it wants to focus on my face. That's why I've been putting things in front of my face, because it don't want to focus on the product itself. Anyway, yeah, just wanted to give y'all an update on my nails. But yeah, I'll probably be I will be taking them off this evening sometime, and I'll probably give my nails a little break as well for a couple days, and then repolish, because I'm just having the best time ever. Okay, moving on. Sorry about that little tangent. Let's jump right into my MM Romance Narrators. So this first guy I'm going to talk about, I have not heard him anywhere else except for this series that I absolutely love, called The Thirds by Charlie Cochet. This is the first book, Hell and High Water. This is the original cover, but she's come out with some new covers that I'm not particularly fond of, and I'm sorry that I never got the actual book in the original cover. I don't think I can get them in the original cover anymore. I'm not sure. I didn't really look into that. I need to maybe try to do that. And I'm surprised I never got it before, because it's my absolute favorite MM Romance of all time. I have it on Audible though, so I can go back and listen all the time, which I do. But anyway, the guy that narrates is named Mark Westfield. He does a fantastic job throughout all the books. The only character I'm not crazy about his narration is Hudson. Is it Hudson? Oh my gosh, I can't remember. I think it's Hudson. He's British. He's what does he shift into? A wolf. And he's a doctor, so he's part of the Third, so he's part of the science doctoring part of the Thirds. He's also very cheeky and quirky, and I love him. He's the only character that I'm kind of iffy on the way Mr. Westfield narrates his character, but that's okay. That's my only issue. But anyway, yes, I've only listened to him through the Thirds. I have not found any other books that that I would like to read, I guess, that he's narrated. I mean, of course, in Audible, you can click on his name and an array of books comes up that I've never heard of, but none of them really like piqued my interest, like to actually like get and listen to. But I think he's a fantastic narrator, and he did the Thirds so much justice. I loved his narration, so just wanted to mention him first, because I don't have any other books besides the Third series that I've listened to his narration on. Next narrator I've talked about before. I kind of have not a love-hate relationship, just I'm not really that into some of the things he narrates. This Kevin R. Free, he does a fantastic job on some things, and then other things I'm just like, it's not my cup of tea. But I mean, it may be for you. I just don't, the character that I have in my head is not what he's giving me. He does a fantastic job on the Just Like series by J. Bell. Is that what? Yes, Something Like series by J. Bell. This is a beautiful series. I listened to this years ago. Very beautiful storyline. Highly recommended if you have not dug into that. Has a lot of different angles. It's about like just, I guess, like true love. Even though you go through different partners in your life, there's always that one true love kind of situation. Yeah, it's very emotional, very deep, but he does a great job at narrating that series. And then also Yes Daddy by Jonathan Parks Ramage. He did a fantastic job with this narration. I was actually surprised when I pulled it up to listen to it. I was like, oh no, I don't know if I'm gonna maybe have to read this book. I hate thinking like that for narrators, but I mean, you can't help it. You mean you're listening to a book and you want that story to come to life. So when you see a narrator that you love, it's always a good feeling, like, oh, this is going to be great. He's going to really bring the narrators to life in this story. So yeah, I was a little skeptical with Yes Daddy, but he did a fantastic job. Okay, let me backtrack a little bit because I meant to talk about this narrator before. I talked about Kevin R. Free, but Garyfurlong is also a really good male romance narrator. He does a great English accent. I don't know what his like actual accent is, if it's British or English, but he does a fantastic job with both. The ones that stand out to me, he's narrated The Soldier's Scoundrel. That was hard to say for me for some reason, by Cat Sebastian. Fantastic job. That's really the only book that I came across that I listened to his narration, but it was really good. I really enjoyed it. He also does, this is why I wanted to mention him after the thirds, because he is narrating the new 10 series, the continuation of Dex and Sloane's story, Gone But Not Forgotten by Charlie Cochet. That is the first book in the 10 series, and he is narrating it. I listened to a sample of it and it sounds really good, although I still have Mark Westfield's voice in my head as Dex, and all the other characters as well. But he did, from what I can gather from the sample, he did a really good job. So yeah. Well, hello, Miss Bella. You want to say happy Pride? Okay. Yeah, bye. All right, next narrator that I really do like this guy. He's not like my top, but I love his narration. Cooper North. He narrates some of the books in the Game Changer series. He actually narrated The Long Game. I figured I'd pull it because I had it right there on my little stool. He narrated The Long Game, and he narrated, I believe, the one before that one as well. But he does a fantastic job for Shane and Ilya, especially Ilya. I was super impressed with like the Russian accent. So yeah, really enjoy his narration. He's also narrated one of the books in Annabeth Albert's series. It's been a while since I've read it, but I mentioned it on here a couple times. Out of Uniform. Yes, the Out of Uniform series by Annabeth Albert. Love that series. It's one of my all-time favorites. I've re-listened to it many times over the years, but he narrates actually my favorite book in that series. And I do think you can jump around in this series, and you don't have to, I mean, it's fun to read them in order because you meet the characters are all there in the background, but each book is about a different character. But my absolute favorite characters in this series were from At Attention. This book was super sexy, y'all, and there's a little bit of an age gap, which apparently I like, but his narration for this book like really did it for me. Really did it. And I have two Gregs that I kind of get confused about. One is Greg Boudreau and the other is Greg Tremblay. They both narrate male romances that I've loved over the years. We'll start with Greg Tremblay since I have him like written here next on my tablet. He's actually narrated one of my favorite books from Emma Scott, Someday Someday. He narrated that book. Fantastic job. You Never Know by Mary Calmey. Really good story. Mary Calmey is another great male romance author that I don't highlight a lot on this channel, so I need to read more of her things because her books are just fantastic. I'll maybe have to like get a, do like an author, male romance authors video, like spotlight or something like that. But yeah, she's one that I mean, she's in, when I see her name, I'm like, oh yeah, she does really great stories, or she's a really great storyteller, I should say. But I rarely pick up a book by her. Why? I don't know. But You Never Know is a really good one. The Game Changer, this is by K. Simone, a really good book as well. Here's another, A Day Makes by Mary Calmey. Great story. And then there's this guy, loved this story. I listened to this years ago. This is by Rice Ford. Greg Tremblay does a fantastic job with that as well. Then we have Greg Boudreau, another great narrator. I've listened to, I just wrote down some of like my favorites. This is Wild Trail by A.M. Johnson. I was in a sort of gay cowboy mood a couple years back, and I was listening to nothing but gay cowboy male romances. And then of course I didn't write an exact one down here, but I did see that he narrates a lot of the Out of Uniform series by Annabeth Albert. So if you want to listen to that series, Greg Boudreau and Cooper North, you can't go wrong with that series. Conduct Becoming by L.A. Witt is also a great male romance. And then one of my favorites that he's done that I don't know if I've ever mentioned on this channel, if I may have, I don't remember, but The Quarterback by Mackenzie Blair. Listened to this years ago. Great story. It's, you know, another little phase for me was sports male romances. Is actually now currently like one of my favorite male romance subgenres, I guess. He was of course in the Closet. Football player. The book starts off, I know I wasn't going to talk about any of the books, but I have to talk about this one because I really loved it. I've listened to it several times as well over the years. He starts off going to like a massage, like his friends are taking him to like this massage for some reason, and I guess his friends are hoping that he's going to meet a girl, like get a good, like it's called a happy ending massage. So I guess his friends are thinking that he's gonna get a girl, and they want him to have some action because apparently, you know, he's kind of like drawn back and he doesn't really, they have not seen him like date anyone. So his friends, his buddies are taking him out to get a happy ending massage, and lo and behold, his masseuse is male, but he's extremely into it. Because he is secretly gay. So that's how the book starts out, and it started out with such a strong beginning. I really loved it, and I loved how it played out. Of course, it's like first time coming into, like, admitting who you are to yourself, I guess, when you already pretty much know, but just finally admitting it. Really great story. Moving on. All right, let's talk about Nick Russo for a little while. Very good male romance narrator. He actually narrates both of the books from N.R. Walker, Code Red and Code Blue. Does a fantastic job. He has a great voice. He can do like, I don't know, it was such a, like, he can do like really sexy and gravelly type of voice, and then he can do like a more, what do I want to call it, more sensual, like if one of the characters is more on the feminine type of side, he can really bring that out, or he can really bring out the voice in like a younger character versus an older character. Great job with Code Red and Code Blue. Another Mary Calmey book, I obviously I need to read more Mary Calmey. This is, again, fantastic read. Her books seem to be more on the shorter side, so I would definitely check those out if you're just beginning in male romances. I don't think like she's heavy on the sexy times either. I mean, they are there and described, but it's not, you know, so graphic as some of the other male romance authors can be. So I think she's a great place to start. Another series that he did a fantastic job in is I only read one book from the series. I really need to continue the series because the first book, called Just Drive, this is by L.A. Witt from her Anchor Point series. I have it written down. I don't know why I'm trying to think about it, but Anchor Point series. This is the first book, Just Drive. Another age gap book, and like does great with the like more sensual side versus like more like gravelly male. He just does a good job. So I really need to read more or listen to, because I think he narrates pretty much the whole series. But yeah, Just Drive was definitely one of my top favorite male romances over the years. Okay, so we're getting into like my absolute favorites right here. So the first one I'm going to talk about is Michael Crouch. You've all heard me gush about him before. His voice is fantastic, especially for like a young adult type of male romance. But he does good jobs all the way around. One book that is actually not a male romance, but I have to mention it, and I actually have it. It's way at the top of my bookshelf with my other Twilights, but Life and Death by Stephanie Meyers. He does, in this book, the roles are reversed, where Bella is, what is his name? Well, Bella is a male. Bubba? Is it Bubba? No, it's not Bubba. Anyway, it's a B word. I can't think of it right now, but Bella is male and Edward is female. And I can't remember her name either. Oh my God, what is wrong with me? What type of Twilight fan am I? Bo and Edith were the characters in Life and Death. Not a male romance, but I had to throw it out there because this is also a great narration, or a great book if you're a Twilight fan. The roles are reversed, really great. And the ending's a little bit different as well, so check it out. He also narrates They Both Die at the End by Adam Silvera. Does a fantastic job there. The Gravity of Us by Phil Stamper. The Knockout Queen by Rufi Thorpe. I actually read this a while back. It's actually a Book of the Month pick. It was okay. It was okay. Our character, our male character, was gay. And then he had a best friend whom they called the Knockout Queen. It was an okay book. It wasn't necessarily a male romance, but it was a good read. And then one from way back, this is White Rabbit. This is by Caleb Rohig. I've never read anything else or listened to anything else by this author, but this was a really great book, and it was really fun too. It's young adult. Most of these that he's narrated are young adult, except for, well, I mean, I'm sure there are some other ones, but the one that really stood out to me that I haven't listened to yet, I'm getting ahead of myself. Anyway, jumping back to White Rabbit, this is also like a relationship between an out gay character and a character who's not out, who is more of a jock character. They're both in high school, and it also has a little bit of a mystery thriller vibe to it as well, so I highly recommend this. Yeah, I don't think I've ever talked about this book before on my channel, but yeah, White Rabbit. Really great read. Also great narration. He also narrates Simon versus the Homo sapiens. Of course, one of my favorites. Absolutely love that book. And then the one I was talking about that I have not listened to yet, but I have read it, is Backhouse by PJ Vernon. I physically read that book. I don't think the audio was available yet, but anyway, it's available now, and Michael Crouch is the narrator, and I feel like that needs to happen soon. It's definitely something that's on my reread list, and I'm not a big rereader. It has to be good for me to reread it, and Bath House is one of those. So I definitely will be doing that in the near future. Okay, before we get to my absolute favorite, which I'm sure y'all know who that is, let's talk about Michael Dean, or Michael Pauly. He has two names. When I first started listening to MM Romances, he went by Michael Pauly. Like, I have like a slew, I don't know if you can see, I have like a total page for Michael Pauly / Michael Dean here. So many books. I probably won't flash all of them up here. Let me see if I can just scroll through and just mention some of my favorites. And a lot of authors that he narrates for is Riley Hart, Lucy Lennox, Devin McCormick. Yeah, that's about all the names. Like Riley Hart, yeah, all Riley Hart, Devin McCormick, and Lucy Lennox. He narrates a lot of their books, and they are some of my top male romance authors. Gonna take it back a little bit. I don't know if I've ever talked about this series before. The Metropolis series, I'll put the first book up here. I don't remember the name of it. This is written by Devin McCormick and Riley Hart. Great series. It's so much fun. You can probably read them as standalones because each book is about a different character, and of course there's other the characters from other books are in the background, but yeah, you can definitely do standalones if you choose to, but this is a great series that Michael Pauly / Michael Dean narrates for. Also Tied In by Devin McCormick. I loved this book. Virgin Flyer by Lucy Lennox. One of my absolute favorite male romances. Endless Stretch of Blue, also one of my very favorite male romances. This is about two characters who are, they are not considering themselves as gay or bi or anything. They figured they are pretty straight. So it was a really good, like, either gay or bi awakening type of story. Really loved it. Up for the Challenge by Devin McCormick and Riley Hart. Also so much fun. This book, absolute fun time. I've re-listened to it many times. What else? The Licking Thicket series by Lucy Lennox and May Archer. He narrates for those books as well. You know how much I love The Licking Thicket. 9 by Lucy Lennox. This was a great book, and I think this is supposed to be the first book in a series, but nothing has happened yet with any more for this series, but it was a great read. Between the Sheets by Devin McCormick. This was actually, I think, my very first book that I listened to Michael Pauly, and I was just like blown away. I was just like, at first I was a little skeptical because I thought his voice was a little bit too, what do I want to call it? And probably if you listen to male romances and you've run across his narration before, you'll know what I'm talking about. But he's very passionate. His voice is very strong for his characters. And at first I was like, oh, I don't know about this narration. But the more I got into the book, and the more, yeah, just his narration is just passionate. That's the best word I can come up for the way he narrates. But I absolutely love this. Like I said, this is one of my first male romances that I've ever listened to. Really good story. Oh, I completely forgot. I wanted to talk about this one before I talked about Michael Dean and Michael Pauly. Iggy Thoma. Iggy Thoma is a great male romance narrators. He actually narrates the Fratmore series by Saxon James. I just read those 2 books recently. I think we got a 3rd book coming up. He's also read the On My Knees series by Ella James, one of my favorites. On My Knees has Worship, Adore, and Communion. It was supposed to be a 2-book series, and I get confused as of which one is first, whether it's Worship or Adore. Maybe it's Adore and then Worship. I don't remember. I don't know. Anyway, those are the 3 books in that series, and it's about a preacher, a gay preacher, and this artist who meet each other out of a weird circumstance. But it was a really good and deep and emotional story. You're just pulling for these 2 characters, and being that one of our characters is like a preacher type of character, it's really hard for him to accept himself and put himself out there. It's beautiful series, beautiful series. And this book that I've read, and you know I love, it was like my favorite male romance of the year in 2021, Wrath by Ella James. Iggy Thoma narrates this one. I have not listened to it yet, but it is one that is on my reread list along with Bathhouse. Yeah, I definitely want to listen to this story, so I can really get a feel for our characters and see how much they come alive in the story. All right, and lastly, but definitely not least, Teddy Hamilton. Absolutely love him. Love his voice, love his narration. I discovered him through the Him and Us series by Serena Bowen and Elle Kennedy. A fantastic job. And I'll go ahead and mention Jacob Morgan as well, because Jacob Morgan actually does not have any other, that I ran across, any other books that are male romance that he narrated. He's only narrated with Teddy Hamilton, so I'll, give that list here. But Jacob Morgan, I'm actually, no, I take that back. I take that back. I'm listening to a book right now called Saint by Sierra Simone. That book is actually part of a series. I think it's book 3 in a series. It's about 3 brothers who start off as priests, so it's 3 brothers, and they either start off as priests or they end up as priests. The first book is actually called Priest, and I think this is the 3rd book. It's either the 2nd or the 3rd. I don't remember. I want to say the 3rd, but this is called Saint. I'll put a picture of it here. I'm currently listening to it. I'm only a couple chapters in, but Jacob Morgan is one of the narrators. He's actually the main narrator for this book right here. Oh my God, y'all, his voice is so sexy. He's narrating along with Sean Kristen. Sean Kristen is actually another male romance narrator. He didn't quite make it to the list, so I haven't really listened to a lot of things that he's narrated, and I'm not sure about his voice, but it works in this book so far. But Jacob Morgan is also the narrator. He's the narrator for the main character, so we're getting more of his voice, and oh, so sexy. Anyway, back to Teddy Hamilton. He also narrates Without You by Marley Valentine. Another great read. Top Secret by Serena Bowen and Elle Kennedy. One of my absolute favorites that I have not listened to. It's on my to reread or listen to TBR, because Teddy Hamilton. He also narrates a lot of Lauren Blakely's books. One Time Only, The Best Men, the Men of Summer series. I don't know about like her new Hopelessly Bromantic series that's coming out very, very soon. At the end of this, maybe it might be out by the time this video goes up. I want to say it comes out on the 28th of June, and I'm filming this on the 27th, so am I thinking of that correctly? Is it the 27th? What's today? No, today's the 26th. I'm sorry. So yeah, Tuesday it comes out. Yes, it says full cast, but it has Teddy Hamilton written as part of the narration, and Shane East. Shane East is another very good male romance narrator. He didn't make it to my cut because there's not many books that I've listened to that he's in it. He's usually with somebody else like Teddy Hamilton, or one of the other characters, or one of the other narrators that I like. But he's a great narrator as well. The Hello Goodbye series by Serena Bowen, beautiful series. And Wicked Lies Boy's Tale by Kay Webster. Loved this book. Loved it. Okay, that's it. I listen mostly to books that have those narrators that I just talked about in it. Of course, there's so many more male romance narrators out there. So definitely let me know in the comments down below if I didn't mention somebody and they are one of your favorites in the male romance genre. I love listening to male romances. It just, they really bring the characters to life. And being that male romance is one of my top reads, one of my favorite reads besides mystery and thrillers, I really enjoy listening to the stories versus reading them. I still enjoy reading them, but I just love when a character can come to life through narration. So that's it, y'all. Thank y'all so much for watching. Hope y'all all doing well out there, still having a very happy Pride month. I hate that it's almost over, but I mean, we don't stop celebrating Pride here. We're Pride year round. But I'm gonna stop rambling. Hugs from me all around, y'all, and I'll see you very, very soon in a new video. Bye, y'all.